Sustainability Committee is a group of approximately 30 citizens who was convened by the city in conjunction with the National Civic League and the University of Colorado at Denver to write a sustainability plan for the city and county of Broomfield.
This is our June meeting. It's the third meeting. We'll probably have anywhere from 10 to 12 meetings before we reach our final conclusion and have a draft sustainability plan for council's consideration.
The work that we do here will be used as a model for other cities of our size across the country, so this is an incredible opportunity for the city.
So again, it's great to see you. This is our third meeting. What we're doing today is we're finishing up the assessment process. We've just gone through a plethora of data. And what we are going to do next is use that data as a tool for our committee to discuss the strengths, weaknesses, and opportunities and threats that we need to consider as we move ahead.
Making the best use of our financial, natural, and human resources, we strive to make the best investments and leverage opportunities to improve our environment, economy, and quality of life for our citizens of today and tomorrow.
What I was asked to present on is a project that MWH performed early this year, late 2008 through first quarter 2009. What we did was assess the governmental organization of the city and county of Broomfield across triple bottom line factors of social, economic, and environment.
What the city and county had asked us to focus on was to find some opportunities, low-hanging fruit that we can gather right now, that we can capture right now.
Presenting this today, the hopes was that some of this information can also be leveraged and used in the community and business community efforts that are currently underway with the Sustainability Task Force.
The objectives, project objectives overall, were to assess the people, processes, data, tools, and the performance that the organization as a whole is achieving across triple bottom line, so the social, economic, and environmental topics and issues across the organization.
The triple bottom line ensures that the activities that an organization pursues achieves their economic, environmental, and social objectives at the same time. So often you'll see these three interlinking circles where the optimal solutions are within the intersection of those three categories.
The data helps us identify where we are now, what is our current situation, so that then, if we know what our current situation is and where we want to go, we can identify what we need to do in order to get to that vision that we've established.
Before we even went into the assessments, we had done some walkthroughs of the treatment facilities themselves and found that many energy efficiency opportunities were either in the works or had already been complete.
Ones, I'd like you to come together here. Don't move yet. Twos, let's have you take that corner on 3. Why don't you be over right by where Dave is. So when you get into your group, this is what I want you to do. What are the strengths of Broomfield? What are the opportunities? And what are the threats in the region that could impact us?
There's a strong spirit of volunteerism and participation.
Absolutely.
Alternative energy, things that have already been implemented by the city. We've got a lot to build on that we've already started, in different resources. More locally produced food.
And energy. Yeah.
Another strength is our geographic location.
Open space. One of the things that
open space
is
is part of the master
amazing
plan.
for open space park systems.
We're not even halfway through the process. We've been focusing a lot on the what. The rest of the process, what they're going to be focusing on is a lot of the how.
We're having our 4th meeting tonight. The vision statement, that was a big process. We all wrote on sticky notes and they were posted all over the walls. We had 3 brave souls who took all of those sticky notes and incorporated them and tried to refine them down into a vision. And we have a really good start on that. We're going to make just a couple of tweaks to that, but we think we're very close to a great vision for sustainability for Broomfield.
Well, it doesn't talk about how we get there. Well, a vision isn't supposed to. Your plan that you're going to develop from this point forward is what's supposed to tell us those specifics as far as how we get there. Your plan that you will develop will tell us those specifics as far as how we get there, but that's our destination. Anything that you come up with in your planning should head us in that direction.
Broomfield enjoys prosperity as an environmentally, economically, and socially sustainable community. We protect and preserve our environment, natural resources, and native wildlife. Broomfield is a zero-waste community. Broomfield's improved transportation infrastructure enables diverse options of travel. Education and communication have resulted in changed attitudes and behaviors. Broomfield is locally sustainable and recognized as the epicenter of green.
But the main thing is that we want to make sure that the themes are there. As far as the themes that we had talked about. If you feel compelled to wordsmith, then go ahead and do that, and we could turn it in and have it considered. But themes, go ahead.
My concern is it starts out, I think it sets a good kind of introductory tone by saying environmentally, economically, and socially. It then goes on to focus, from my perspective, primarily on environmentally. It's not adequate in the other areas, and yet it's too specific in that area.
I think it's natural to look at most of those as environmental, but I don't think they necessarily are.
When you bring up feedback, in order to help the writing committee, be very specific as far as what needs to be there that isn't there now.
When you think sustainable, you think of the environment, but without the tax base that's necessary and the economic piece, you really can't do anything else. It's got to be there for us to be able to proceed. And it does reflect in the first sentence, but maybe not as fully as once we see how they put our sticky notes together. Maybe you don't see now what was percolating and developing.
And maybe it would make sense to meet one more time and add a couple people who have that economic and social concern. And maybe I think that you can make this acceptable to everybody by some really small changes.
And also, let's give Irene and Judy and David a hand for stepping up and getting us to this point.
That vision statement will guide us. That is our vision for where we want to be, and it's our job to figure out how we're going to get there. We have identified 5 areas that we want to focus on, and those are education, transportation, energy, natural resources and ecosystems, and economic development.
This is where the rubber meets the road. This is where you're going to start focusing on what the goals are underneath those things in order to be effective in those areas, what the policies and strategies might be. What are the things that we need to take place in order to move us ahead? This would be what we focus on in order to become more sustainable.
And we've divided up into groups. Right now we have about 5 to 6 people per group, and we're going to meet individually and really concentrate on those specific areas and really get down to brass tacks about sustainability in each of those 5 areas.
And then the last one, transportation. 5.
No,
5.
No way.
Yeah, that's
going to happen in your career, Derek.
Yeah. Never. Oh, jeez. My God.
It's great to see everyone here working in teams. Everyone's engaged and really participating enthusiastically, and this is really great for the community.
We'll handle disagreements by trying to work towards consensus, right?
Yeah.
Which doesn't necessarily mean everybody agrees. We get to a point where somebody...
Well, actually, consensus usually means that everybody's not quite in agreement with one piece of it.
But they're on board
Yeah.
with the general idea.
So we'll work towards consensus.
At that point, these folks are really going to take it over and start to identify those specific goals and those strategies that need to be in place in these very strategic areas in order to bend the trend toward that desired future that they've created.
It's great to see how engaged all of these people are. They're not holding back, and they're not shy about speaking up for whatever they're passionate about, and they also want to make sure that whatever we come up with is practical. And it's a lot of fun to see them engaged and setting forth these great ideas that will make Broomfield a better community. I really believe in sustainability, conservation, and doing the right thing for our environment now and the citizens of the future. I think if we do this now, it'll make Broomfield a better place for our kids and grandkids.